explains how to insert sheets into a drawing using two methods: insert sheet as paper space and insert sheet as drawing. It details the process of creating a paper space environment with viewports and the insertion of sheet templates. Additionally, describes creating multiple paper spaces, inserting geometries and texts, and tips for efficient visualization in complex drawings. Finally, it emphasizes the importance of correct sequencing when defining geometries, texts, or blank viewports to avoid the need for frequent edits. We will show you how to insert a sheet into the drawing. We have two types of sheet insertions. Insert sheet as paper space. In this mode, drawing viewports are defined according to a scale. The main viewport is the format viewport area defined by the user when the template was created, as shown in the last video. The second type of insertion is the insertion of a sheet as geometry and text standard entities. This sheet will be created in a group according to a scale defined by the user. This will be the printing scale. This option is called inserting a template sheet as drawing. We'll show the insertion of sheets in the paper space environment, which is the standard normally used. To print drawings in the paper space environment, a 1:1 scale is used. In this type of environment, scales are defined in the viewports. Let's open a solid face drawing. Note that in this drawing there are several sections and details already with a scale defined in the drawing environment. Here we have two design preview tabs. The Drawing tab contains the drawing groups and the Bodies tab contains the list of 3D bodies. In future videos, insertion of 3D models, generation of views, sections, etc. will be explained. Let's create a first paper space environment with a viewport that encompasses the entire drawing. Clicking on the Template button. Two subfolders are displayed: Standard and User. The Standard folder contains solid face standard templates. For the first paper space, we will use a standard solid face sheet template. In solid face, when we click on a folder, it can view the contents of the files in that folder and view all files in subfolders. Let's check the folder list content view configuration. See the option Search and list files also in subdirectories. This means that the system searches for all files contained in subfolders. I want only view the files contained in the selected folder. Note that specifically in the Templates folder there are no template files but only subfolders. Let's select the standard subfolder. It contains others 3 subfolders. Before creating a paper space, we also need to check if the default option for inserting sheets is paper space. Remember, there are two types of sheet insertion, as paper space and as drawing. The File and Sheet menu shows the default sheet insertion type. Paper space is selected. Returning to the sheet templates. Let's select the metric folder. The contents of the metric folder are shown. The drawing unit is metric, so we must use a template created with same unit. Let's select the sheet template A3. Double-click or drag the A3 sheet to the screen. Note that depending on the main viewport of this sheet and the general drawing area, the maximum scale can be 1:2.06. Let's choose a standard scale smaller than this. Choosing 1:2 scale. In the video about sheet templates was detailed the question text. Let's fill in the first question text and cancel the rest. The rest includes main viewport scale, project owner, and others informations. The paper space environment is created, and the title of the sheet has been filled in. Note that a paper space tab has been created, but a dimension is remained over the sheet label. To correct this, click on the Drawing tab to return to the drawing. Let's edit this dimension. Double-click to edit it. Also, let's modify the visualization type of one of the views. Click on the view and edit it to draft hidden. Activating paper space again. See that now the dimension and view are okay. Selecting the main viewport, several buttons for managing a viewport are displayed. Modify scale. Define new zoom. View all. Pan. Let's modify the viewport scale. Select it and change, for example, the scale to 1 to 5. With scroll button, zoom. Or reset a zoom area. Viewing the entire drawing. And returning to 1 to 2 scale. To edit the model as done before, click on the Drawing tab or click on the Edit option. We can create any number of paper spaces. Returning to the drawing area. In the previous video, we created a sheet template in the folder user area called a 4. Click on the Templates button, User folder, and select Template a 4 user sheet. A new paper space was created with the A4 sheet. Repositioning the A4 paper space. 2 paper space sheets now appear. Let's disable the preview of the first and view the entire drawing. Modifying the view of this paper space. Let's zoom in and modify the scale to 1 to 2. Let's create a new viewport with a 1-to-1 scale of a detail. In the paper space environment, we can also insert geometries or lines that will only be visible in this environment. For example, entering text scale 1-to-1 and modifying the viewport area to encompass the desired detail. See that an area of the drawing is being viewed. We can create a blank viewport to prevent this area from being shown. In the configuration, indicate blank viewport. The rectangular area of the viewports are fixed, and if we edit the view from the main viewport, we usually need to edit texts or viewports defined after the main viewport. Let's pan the main viewport. The blank viewport and text must now also be repositioned. Fixing the blank viewport. Repositioning the viewport scale 1-to-1. Defining geometry, texts, or blank viewports must be the last operation so that we do not need to edit it if the main viewport is modified. Viewing the A3 paper space. When there are many paper spaces created, an interesting tip is to use the option to visualize passive groups with the passive color. This way, only the active paper space will be displayed with its default color and the others will be displayed with the passive color. It is easy to differentiate which paper space is the active one. And returning to the drawing to save it.